Okay, so my dear students, I'll again start the continuation of the same lecture that we discussed yesterday. In the meantime, you must have some fresh idea about what we were talking about was lymphoma. The broader classification of lymphoma is, start replying in the chat box so I can move forward and I'll come to know that the students are participating. Okay. Hodgkin and the non-Hodgkin. Very good. The broader classification is the Hodgkin and the non-Hodgkin lymphoma. Hodgkin lymphoma we'll discuss today, and the most confusing thing is the non-Hodgkin lymphoma that comprises around 85% of the lymphomas. Though non-Hodgkin lymphomas are further divided in not precursor and mature, not precursor and mature, not precursor and mature. Non-Hodgkin lymphomas are broadly divided into the Hodgkin को तो हमने जो है वो तो एक ही तरह की phenotype है उसकी, ठीक है. B and T cell, very good. The Hodgkin lymphomas, non-Hodgkin lymphomas are broadly divided into the B cell and the T cell lymphomas. Then B cell and T cell, each of them is further divided into precursor and mature. अच्छा, बहुत ये broader classification दे दिया precursor and mature. Otherwise the classification है, I'll show you the chart again, कि B cell की ही classification इतनी diverse, इतनी lengthy. There are so many names to memorize, and then each of them have their own characteristics and treatment. But the good thing is the staging is same. The staging and the diagnostic workup for most of the lymphomas is same. And what is that? Staging कैसे करते हैं? Staging is very simple. ठीक है? So it would be difficult for you to write. So I am repeating the staging. If only one group of lymph nodes is involved, this is stage 1. If two areas of the lymph nodes but on the same side of the diaphragm are involved, this is stage 2. If both sides of the diaphragm are involved, this is stage 3. And if it is distant metastasis, it is stage 4. Okay. One or two of the students were asking about the benign. They were confused in benign and the malignant in my last lecture. So I'm asking again, is there anything that we can divide lymphomas into benign and malignant? Stage 1 को benign कहेंगे? No, there is nothing. बल्कि if the lymphoma is confined to some area of the lymph node, this is not benign lymphoma. Although it has not metastasized, but it has a potential to metastasize. So this is, we will call it stage 1 lymphoma, not benign lymphoma. Although it is confined, but it is a stage 1 lymphoma, not a malignant lymphoma, not a benign lymphoma, because if you remember the topic from your first year about the neoplasia, we have certain differences between the benign and the malignant tumor. One of those is the potential to metastasize. The lymphoma has a potential to metastasize. Although it is not metastasizing, it is confined at stage 1, it is confined to one group of the lymph node or a single group of the lymph node, but it has a potential. It has an ability to metastasize anytime. And when these lymphoma cells, for example, they were in the cervical lymph node area, they metastasize, they go to some other area, and there would be a stage when the lymph nodes would be exhausted, would be so much crowded, and these lymphoma cells can spill into the blood, and that is called as sarcoma of blood. No, why sarcoma of blood? No, we don't call it sarcoma of blood. We call it when the lymphoma cells say hematopoietic spread of tumor. Hematopoietic spread of tumor. No. दिस इज नॉट द टर्म दैट वी यूज बिकॉज लिम्फोमा सेल्स उनकी तो अपनी बेसिस जो है वो लाई कर रही है बहरहाल बोन मैरो में. अगर वो सेकेंडरी लिम्फोइड ऑर्गन में है यानी कि लिम्फ नोड में है इन द स्प्लीन. Yes, leukemic phase of lymphoma. Muzalfa Azam, leukemic phase of lymphoma. If the lymphoma cells, these malignant cells, they spill into the blood, this is leukemic phase of lymphoma. And in certain lymphomas, we have this leukemic phase. We see this leukemic phase more commonly. And they are also called as circulating lymphomas. इसी list में से होंगे circulating lymphomas that I can mention in this list. कि ये जो lymphomas हैं, they are frequently they have circulating lymphoma cells in the blood. They are frequently observed in the blood. One of them is mantle cell lymphoma, follicular lymphoma बहुत मिलता है blood में. hairy cell leukemia, leukemia तो नाम ही है leukemia आ रहा है because it occupies the blood. Okay, sometime and Burkitt lymphoma cells you can see in the blood. Hairy cell leukemia, marginal zone lymphoma cells can be observed in blood. Follicular lymphoma is also a circulating lymphoma. Mantle cell lymphoma is also a circulating lymphoma. Lymphoplasmacytic lymphoma, splenic and nodal marginal zone lymphoma. These are the and CLL. These are the lymphomas which cells are frequently observed circulating in the blood, and that is circulating lymphomas. But one more thing that I want to mention that, for example, follicular lymphoma is in its leukemic phase, and you got to see some atypical cells. Of course, you won't be able to identify just on the basis of morphology. Yes, I am very sure these are the follicular lymphoma cells, but you will see that there is abnormal proliferation of the lymphocytes. Okay, make it more simple. ठीक है, lymphocytes for example, in a child up to the age of 2 years, which cell line is more commonly observed or more frequently observed in the peripheral blood? Lymphocytes or neutrophils? Class, start replying me quickly. These are very simple questions. You have discussed this with Dr. Noor in non-neoplastic proliferations of white cell up to the age of 2 years or 3 years. For example, if it is a child of 2 years and you are observing a peripheral blood film, which cells will be more frequently observed? Lymphocytes or neutrophil? Oh my God. Oh my God. No reply. Yes, Muiz. Abrar Ahmad. Not sure. Lymphocytes, question mark. You are not sure. Neutrophils. अच्छा, non-neoplastic proliferations of white cells पढ़ लिया है. Lymphoma we are discussing, and we don't know which white cells are more frequently observed. Yes, Google search कर लिया सबने और गलत ही search कर लिया. Actually studying this topic today, why भाई? ये तो बड़ा common है. Lymphocytes are most frequently observed cells. जो बच्चों में percentage होती है 60 to 65% जो होते हैं वो lymphocytes होते हैं. भाई CBC report, interpretation of CBC का प्रैक्टिकल है. आई थिंक यू हैव तो उसमें टेक स्पेशल केयर ऑफ द CBC काउंट की. जब WBC काउंट है तो जब डिफरेंशियल करते हैं, व्हेन वी डू डिफरेंशियल बिटवीन द न्यूट्रोफिल्स एंड लिम्फोसाइट्स इन चिल्ड्रन, we have more percentage of the lymphocytes as compared to the neutrophils. Although commonly in after 2 years or after 3 or 4 years, the most numerous cells are the neutrophils. But in children, lymphocytes are more frequent. Okay, Moise, keep doing WBC pathology, and with the help of these lectures, I hope these will be much easier for students like you who take interest in the lectures and the things. I'm sure the things will be easier for you. Okay, so when we talk about, we were discussing a peripheral blood film, lymphocytes are more frequently observed. But if you got to see a blood film of a patient who is 65 years, okay, then we can think of not of course that we will be immediately thinking of the lymphoma. We'll be thinking about the viral infections or tuberculosis, and there are so many things. But if you see a pattern, a monotonous cells, and the lymphocytes are predominant, typical lymphocytes are predominant, they have some morphological features as well that you can appreciate on the basis of morphology that yes, this is something abnormal going on. So you will raise a query that maybe it can be a lymphoproliferative disorder, because at this age, it is sometimes become difficult to differentiate between the neoplastic proliferation and non-neoplastic proliferation. Just by looking at the lymphocyte or at the count of the lymphocyte, you should have a query in your mind that either this is something non-neoplastic, like this is lymphocytosis because of the reactive changes or some infection, or it is a neoplastic proliferation. So in that case, you will raise a query of lymphoproliferative disorder or lymphoproliferative disorder. You will advise them to for the bone marrow biopsy or lymph node biopsy if the patient has associated lymphadenopathy, depending on the clinical history. So I was the reason to explain all of these things, that if the blood film was first observed, so of course the hematologist will be observing the peripheral blood film, and they will raise a query of something like mantle cell or follicular lymphoma or leukemic phase of the lymphoma or lymphoproliferative disorder. But if it is diagnosed on the lymph node biopsy, sometimes the patient presents to a doctor's clinic with the lymphadenopathy, fever, night sweats, and these symptoms. So what happened? That doctors advise them for the lymph node biopsy. And in that lymph node biopsy, histopathologists will be observing the lymph node, and they will be concluding these follicular lymphoma, mantle cell lymphoma. So histopathologists, with the help of immunohistochemistry panel, at times can be more sure as compared to the cells being observed on the peripheral blood film. Okay? Is it clear? Most classically, this example gets fit for the CLL and SLL, the first in this category. If on peripheral blood film this is observed, the hematologist would raise a query for CLL, or sometime more sure becomes CLL. But if it is diagnosed on the lymph node, तो histopathologist ये diagnosis नहीं देगा CLL, वो देगा small lymphocytic lymphoma / CLL, depending on the peripheral blood film. Okay. Now coming to our topic once again, is it clear? जो आपको डायग्नोस्टिक मटेरियल मिला है ना, उस पर डिपेंड कर रहा है. अगर वो पेरिफेरल ब्लड फिल्म पे डायग्नोज हुआ है तो it can be a lymphoproliferative disorder. And if it is getting diagnosed on the lymph node biopsy, then you will be more sure that whether it is mantle cell lymphoma, it is follicular lymphoma, because ISC panel will be applied to the lymph node biopsy and not the peripheral blood film. But we have other methods for that. If you have so many leukemic cells or neoplastic cells in the peripheral blood, then agar aap peripheral blood se usko diagnose karna chahte hain, then we have a diagnostic modality which is flow cytometry. Agar peripheral blood mein 95% abnormal cells hain, so we'll go for the flow cytometry, और उससे भी ये सारा पैनल जो है ये हेल्प आउट हो जाता है. ओके. Now coming to our topic, which was we were telling you about the leukemic phase of the lymphoma and this long list of the peripheral B cell neoplasms. Okay, इसमें जो first है precursor B cell neoplasm, this is ALL, because you, I think, have understood up till now that this is the stage, that precursor stage in which the B cells, they acquire neoplastic potential at times when they are residing in the bone marrow, and when they are leaving the bone marrow, if they acquire neoplastic proliferation after their bone marrow stage, then it can be any of these depending on the stage where they are. Okay. So we have discussed all these things. कि हम इतनी डिटेल्स में नहीं जाएंगे कि on the basis of morphology what kind of lymphoma it is, what we will simply go for the lymph node biopsy or the flow cytometry. Same markers होते हैं flow cytometry पे भी, बस immunohistochemistry solid tissue पर होती है. Okay, और flow cytometry जो है वो living cells पर होती है. ठीक है. तो this panel will help the histopathologist to diagnose or a doctor to come to a conclusion of what kind of lymphoma it is. Okay. These सारी जो pictures हैं, these all pictures are of lymph nodes. अच्छा, so we were on lymphoplasmacytic lymphoma, in which we were saying that B cell lymphoma that exhibit plasmacytic differentiation. I explained you that this is some stage between the morphology would be somewhat between the lymphocyte and the plasma cell. Lymphocyte की morphology, the main morphological features of the lymphocyte case size of an RBC, clumped nuclear chromatin, very scant cytoplasm or virtually invisible cytoplasm, clinical symptoms dominated by hyperviscosity related to the high levels of tumor-derived IgM. Now concentrate on this point. This is lymphoplasmacytic. What reason of low attendance in these lectures? I have no idea. Okay, so clinical symptoms dominated by hyperviscosity related to high levels of tumor-derived IgM. Okay, now concentrate on this line, that hyperviscosity related to high levels of tumor-derived IgM, because these cells are intermediate between the lymphocyte and the plasma cell, or you can say the stage at which the cells, these cells have passed through the stage of germinal center, unki antigenic exposure has been done, and now they are ready to leave the germinal center or the lymph nodes. Okay, so they have an ability to produce what? Antibodies. Okay, but important feature when we say about any malignancy, when we discuss any malignancy, so we say that a particular clone of the cell is proliferating. Okay? So these cells will be releasing so many IgM. Monoclonal proliferation. Very good, Moiz Tariq. Monoclonal proliferation. Okay, monoclonal proliferation would be taking place here, and these cells, of course, these are plasma cells, are very closely related to the plasma cells, so they are releasing IgM. Which antibody they are releasing? IgM. And one more feature of IgM, जो हमारे पास 5 antibodies होती हैं, GAMED. So what are the characteristics of IgM? Distinctive characteristics of the IgM: largest antibody, heaviest antibody. So because this is the heaviest antibody, largest antibody, pentavalent होती है. Okay, so this antibody, because pentamer. Okay, very good. So this antibody, because it is so much in quantity in the blood, that's why it is producing a symptom of hyperviscosity, because tumor cells are continuously producing IgM. जैसे monoclonal proliferation, तो एक ही तरह के cells हैं, वो proliferate कर रहे हैं और एक ही तरह की antibody release हो रही है बार बार IgM, which is the heaviest antibody. So that's why the patient will have the symptoms of hyperviscosity, highly associated with mutations in MYD88 gene. Remember, we have to ask something in the paper. So these mutations are important to remember. Okay, which lymphoma is associated with which kind of mutation. Okay. Now coming to the marginal zone lymphoma. Okay. For marginal zone lymphoma, I'll again explain you the same diagram. The cells are leaving the bone marrow. These are the naive B cells. They are leaving the primary lymphoid organ, and they are getting settled into the secondary lymphoid organ for further maturation, for further differentiation, or we can say to acquire antigen identification. Okay, this is the mental zone. This is the marginal zone. This is the mental zone, and this is the germinal follicle. Okay, these naive B cells are entering into the mental zone. If these cells, they acquire neoplastic potential at this stage. This is CL. This can be CLL, although CLL arise from these naive B cells also when they are leaving the bone marrow and coming to the lymph node. So CLL के वो क्या हो जाते हैं वो फिर? These are the CLL variants. Okay. So sometimes CLL arise from this stage or sometimes CLL arise from this stage. But whatever, they are before, or we can say pre-germinal center. Mostly because इसमें भी stages है ना. The cell has just entered the mental zone. The cell has passed some days or some time in this mental zone. So if the cells are acquiring the neoplastic potential late after entering into the mental zone, this will be a mental cell lymphoma. Okay. Now from the mental zone, if they pass through this stage normally, and they don't acquire any neoplastic potential due to their oncogenes or whatever mutations they have, they will enter into the germinal center. And these cells here, क्या होता है germinal center में? Class switching होती है और क्या होता है? Somatic hypermutations होती हैं. And all these processes are just to acquire a potential to identify non-self antigen and not to get attracted towards a self antigen. So यहाँ पे positive selection होगी, negative selection होगी, ठीक है? If the cell acquire the neoplastic potential at this stage, it can be follicular lymphoma, it can be DLBCL, it can be lymphoplasmacytoid lymphoma, which is a later stage at which the cell is more highly evaluated, you can say, and more ready to produce antibodies. So if they acquire a neoplastic potential late in the germinal center, this can be lymphoplasmacytoid lymphoma, and this is basically not germinal center phenotype. That's why we call it post-germinal center phenotype. Okay. Now the cell will enter into the marginal zone, and this is the marginal zone lymphoma, or the cell antibody producing cell will be leaving the bone marrow. This is the plasma cell myeloma. So if the cells, they acquire neoplastic potential at this stage, this is the marginal zone phenotype. Generally, we call it a name, marginal zone phenotype, which is CD5 negative and CD10 negative. Okay, this is marginal zone phenotype. So we are here on marginal zone lymphoma, that these are the indolent tumors of antigen primed B cells. Antigen priming हो चुकी है ना? Antigen primed B cells that arise at sites of chronic immune stimulation and often remain localized for longer periods of time. It presents primarily in sites such as stomach, gall, breast, GI tract is most commonly involved. Okay, now coming to the extranodal marginal zone lymphoma or mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. Basically, marginal zone lymphomas has 3 types. You know that we have a lymphoid cell collection in the gut as well. So because in the lymphoma, what we explained that they can be in the secondary lymphoid organ or secondary lymphoid organs where primarily we have lymph node and spleen, but what other secondary lymphoid organs we have? और कहाँ lymphoid cells की collection होती हैं? Malt, yes, mucosa associated lymphoid tissue, spleen, good, Peyer's patches, thymus तो primary lymphoid organ है P cells के लिए, Peyer's patches, malt, ये good, और बस tonsils, good, B280. Okay. So if the cells are neoplastic proliferations occurring at these sites of mucosa associated lymphoid tissue, so this is also a extranodal, means outside the lymph node. Extranodal marginal zone lymphoma or mucosa associated lymphoid tissue lymphoma, and this is most commonly associated with Helicobacter pylori infection. Okay, then we have nodal marginal zone lymphoma, which occurs in the marginal zone of the lymph node, and then sphenic marginal zone lymphoma, which occurs in the marginal zone of the spleen, and it is associated with the hepatitis C. Okay, so we have 3 marginal zone lymphomas, extranodal marginal zone lymphoma, which is associated, which is outside the lymph node, and it is in mucosa associated lymphoid tissue, myeloma kehte hain usko. Then we have nodal marginal zone lymphoma. As the name indicates, this marginal zone lymphoma occurring in the marginal zone of the lymph node. And then splenic marginal zone lymphoma, that is taking place in the marginal zone of the spleen. Okay. Now hairy cell leukemia. Agar main कहूँ hairy cell leukemia की कैसी phenotype है? Again, marginal zone phenotype है. जो word we use that the word that we use for the phenotype of these hairy cell leukemia, this is marginal zone phenotype. Okay. Morphologically distinct, very indolent tumor of mature B cell, but I don't know the reason why splenic marginal zone lymphoma is associated with hepatitis C, but the probable pathology that is given in books that hepatitis C ke association or jo Helicobacter pylori ke association with the myeloma, that when the infections start, hepatitis C is a chronic infection. Similarly, Helicobacter pylori is a chronic infection. So sometime infective pathology, if it reoccurs and it continues, or we can say injurious agent remain continue, or the patient is taking some therapy. So what happened? Sometime these cells, because of the chronically inflamed state, they acquire a malignant potential. So that's why they have seen association between the hepatitis C and splenic marginal zone lymphoma, although not very strong association. Similarly, Helicobacter pylori and myeloma are associated 50% cases. Okay. Now here is cell leukemia, but I'll look for a more specific reason. Kindly mail me this question, so I'll reply. Okay. Hairy cell leukemia, morphologically distinct, very indolent tumor of mature B cell that is highly associated with mutations in the BRAF. This is the gene that is associated with hairy cell leukemia. Uncommon hematological malignancy. Presence of hairy cells in the bloodstream. Here, the hairy cells, they come in the blood. In 90% cases, these hairy cells is a circulating lymphoma, frequently circulating lymphoma. That's why it is called hairy cell leukemia. Because lymphoma cells जो है वो आएंगे blood में. Okay, and they have a very specific morphological features that they are easily identified, but there is the association with the BRAF mutation, tartrate resistant acid phosphatase positivity. These are the modalities that we use in the diagnosis of hairy cell leukemia. And again, the histochemistry panel, the immunohistochemistry panel, which is positive for CD19, 20, 22, 11C, 25, and 103. So there is so much confusion with the splenic marginal zone lymphoma and B cell pro-lymphocytic leukemia. Why? There is confusion because the morphology of these cells is very much similar to the splenic marginal zone lymphoma cells. That is also circulating lymphoma. Okay. अच्छा, अब ये इस तरह के these are the atypical lymphocytes that we found circulating in the blood. ये सारी जो pictures हैं, these are not of lymph nodes, these are of peripheral blood. If the lymphoma cells, they are circulating in the blood, how they would look like. This is the mental zone lymphoma. And remember, no one is expert enough to be very, very sure, yes, I can see the blood film and I can tell, yes, it is mental zone lymphoma. They can just raise a query of lymphoproliferative disorder, although अपने colleagues से और अपने उससे discuss भी कर सकते हैं कि it looks like mental zone lymphoma, but you cannot be, you cannot give any statement without immunohistochemistry panel or flow cytometry. There are some morphological features that are very helpful to diagnose, but no one can be very, very sure just by looking at their phenotype that yes, these are the mental zone lymphoma, or this is the marginal zone lymphoma, or this. Although CLL gets identified easily, even for CLL, we say lymphoproliferative disorder, most likely CLL. We use a word most likely, not very sure. Okay. So the doctor, before starting the treatment and before labeling the patient as to having a certain disease, they will go for the supportive evidences like flow cytometry or the immunohistochemistry panel. So these are the cells of mental zone lymphoma. nucleus is somewhat cleaved in these cells, cytoplasm is scanned, and the chromatin pattern is somewhat clumped. While in marginal zone, cytoplasm is more. There is more abundant cytoplasm, slightly basophilic cytoplasm. Again, the cleaving can be observed in these cells, and they have less clumped chromatin pattern, more fine chromatin pattern. Okay. Now this is hairy cell. This is easy to identify on the blood film because these cells have abundant cytoplasm. They have less clump chromatin, sometimes prominent nuclei, but the most classical feature is the hairy projections. You could find hair-like projections coming out of the cytoplasm like this, hairy. That's why it is called as these hairy projections. Okay, these hairy projections. This is hairy cell leukemia. But again, it is sometimes getting confused. It sometimes gets confused with the SLVL. But in SLVL, we have two projections. Cytoplasm is again abundant. Chromatin is more clumped. Remember this, the explanation of the chromatin, less clumped, more clumped, comparatively less clumped. These are the subjective observations. Okay. This is SLVL, which has two projections from the cytoplasm, while the hairy cells, the cells of the hairy cell leukemia, they have circumferential hairy projections from their cytoplasm. Okay, and these are the CLL cells which look very typical, very similar to the typical lymphocyte. Okay, very similar to the typical lymphocyte. Achha. This is a slide just to show you that how does immunohistochemistry panel seems positive for a certain marker or negative for a certain marker. If, for example, you ordered a certain panel and you have the slide like this is negative for that immune marker. उसके ऊपर slide के ऊपर लिखा होगा CD20 और slide ऐसी हो, so that means this is CD20 negative. अगर उसी slide पर same thing is written CD20 and the slide looks like this, brown color all around, this is CD20 positive, but again, it is a rough idea. It is very technical. Sometimes the certain markers have positive, cytoplasmic positivity. Certain markers has to be observed in the cells which have, nuclear positivity. Okay. So this is a rough idea about, you will not be asked any question related to this immunohistochemistry panel by showing their images, but this is just to show you an idea about how the positive and the negative panel look like. Differential diagnosis immunophenotype. This is to summarize that CD5 positive है तो mental cell lymphoma. CD5 हम क्या बताए थे? CD5 positive, CD10 negative कौन से tumors होते हैं? ये दो. Okay, CLL and mental cell lymphoma. These are CD5 positive, CD10 negative. And how to differentiate between these two? अब MCL CLL में कैसे differentiate करेंगे? CLL mostly 23 positive while MCL is 23 negative. Again, MCL में क्या positive आ जाएगा? Cyclin D1 positive. We want to be more sure that if it is mental cell lymphoma or the CLL, so MCL would be CD23 negative, but cyclin D1 would be positive. और translocation कौन सी है mental cell lymphoma की? नहीं यार, 11-14. Okay. Now CD5 negative and 10 positive. CD5 negative and 10 positive. ये कौन से tumors थे? Follicular lymphoma, some types of DLBCL and Burkitt lymphoma. Okay, this CD5 negative, CD10 positive is follicular lymphoma. अच्छा, ये CD20 को सब में positive आ रहा है. अच्छा, participants है 117. Those who are replying are mostly 3 or 4. नहीं पता 20 क्यों पॉजिटिव आ रहा है. because of B cells. Yes, because this is a marker of B cell. तो ये सारे B cell lymphoma है तो 20 positive है. Okay. Then maltoma. Maltoma हम बता चुके हैं. This is a marginal zone phenotype which is CD5 negative and CD10 negative. What other tumors are CD5 negative and CD10 negative? Then there is a long list. Lymphoplasmacytic lymphoma is CD5 negative, 10 negative. SLVL is CD5 negative, 10 negative. Hairy cell leukemia and Achha, now coming to the chromosomal translocations commonly associated with activation in B malignancy. These are the translocations which are important to remember in case of lymphoma. Translocation 11-14 is associated with mantle cell lymphoma. 14-18 is associated with follicular lymphoma. Burkitt की most common translocation is 8-14. 14 पे क्या होता है यहाँ पर? 14 पे क्या होता है? कल बताया था. अच्छा, इम्यूनोलॉजी में पढ़ा, इम्यूनिटी में एंटीबॉडीज की कैपा चेन, लैम्डा चेन एंड हैवी चेन. कैसे बनती है एंटीबॉडी? हैवी चेन, कापा, लैम्डा. सो द हैवी चेन इज ऑन, हैवी चेन जीन इज ऑन 14 और 2 पे कौन सी होती है? लाइट चेन. 2 और 22 पे क्या होती है? लाइट चेन. वेरी गुड. 2 और 22 पे लाइट चेन होती है. लाइट चेन इज ऑफ 2 टाइप्स, कैपा एंड लैम्डा. किस पे कैपा होती है, किस पे लैम्डा होती है? कैपा ऑन 2. वेरी गुड. वाह भाई. कैपा ऑन 2 एंड लैम्डा ऑन 22. वेरी गुड. ओके. देन DLBCL में ट्रांसलोकेशन 3-14. ऑन्कोजीन कौन सी है? BCL1, BCL2, BCL6. BCL1 is for mantle cell lymphoma, BCL2 is for follicular lymphoma, and BCL6 is for DLBCL. Which one is anti-apoptotic gene? BCL2. Very good. Achha, again classification. CD19 positive. 19 is again B cell marker. CD19 positive tumor, or we can say B cell tumors, are again divided into 5 positive, 5 negative. ये इतनी बार जो दिखाए जा रहे हैं ना, just to make you memorize these things. That CD19 positive is B cell positivity. It can be divided into 5 positive, 5 negative. 5 positive है तो there are 2 possibilities. 5 positive has 2 possibilities. CLL and MCL. If it is 23 positive, it is CLL. If it is cyclin B1 positive, it is MCL. Then CD5 negative can be divided into 10 positive and 10 negative. If it is CD5 negative and 10 positive, it is follicular lymphoma as shown in the previous picture. And if it's CD5 negative and 10 negative, it can be hairy cell, marginal zone, SLVL, LPL, or so many other things. But LPL and plasma cell myeloma has some other features that help in their diagnosis. Now coming to the plasma cell neoplasm. Is it clear up till now? So participants are 113. ये अबरार, मोई, सिदरातुल और ये 2-4 बच्चे ही पढ़ रहे हैं मुझे लग रहा है. Okay, plasma cell neoplasms. Okay, multiple myeloma is the most important plasma cell neoplasm. Multiple myeloma is a plasma cell neoplasm commonly associated with lytic bone lesions, hypercalcemia, renal failure, and acquired immune abnormalities. Neoplastic plasma cells suppress normal humoral immunity and secrete partial immunoglobulins that are nephrotoxic. Okay, associated with diverse translocations involving the immunoglobulin heavy chain locus, frequent dysregulation and overexpression of cyclin D genes. Okay. Plasma cell myeloma or the multiple myeloma, basically which cells have acquired neoplastic potential? This is plasma cells. Because plasma cells, they become abnormal, they become neoplastic, and the quality of the plasma cell is to release antibody. So if a clone of plasma cell becomes neoplastic. What does it mean? You know, antibodies are highly specific. First of all, you know that antibodies are highly specific. That means the antibody producing plasma cells are highly specific. One type of plasma cell or one clone of plasma cell is producing antibody of one type. Antibody of one type का क्या मतलब है? मेरी इस बात से क्या मतलब समझ में आ रहा है कि एंटीबॉडी ऑफ वन टाइप? एंटीबॉडी किस किस चीज की कॉम्बिनेशन से बनी है? स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ एंटीबॉडी क्या है? Clone of one type of antibody. Yes, Sidratul Muntaha. One clone of one type of antibody. Heavy and light chains are combined. अच्छा, heavy chain कितनी types की होंगी? Light chain कितनी types की होंगी? Light chains broadly तो हमारे पास हो गई kappa, lambda. Heavy chains कौन कौन सी हैं? Heavy 5 है, mu, gamma. Very good. सही है. तो वन टाइप ऑफ, फॉर एग्जाम्पल हैवी चेन. अच्छा, हैवी चेन में कितनी डाइवर्सिटी है पता है ना? VDJ recombination, how they acquire diversity. And again, the combinations of the light chain have so much diversity. More diverse is the heavy chain. Of course, light chain is less diverse, but even then it is very diverse to identify many types or billion types of antigen. So when one type of kappa combines for, say, for example, mu chain, so this is IgM kappa. When combined, lambda is getting combined with mu, that means it is IgM lambda. Heavy chain is mu and the light chain is lambda. Similarly, if kindly concentrate, because it would be easier for you to understand if you concentrate on this point, that if, for example, kappa gets combined with the G chain, okay? So what happened? What is the result? IgG kappa. If lambda gets combined with the G chain, this is gamma chain. That means IgG lambda. Okay. So we have diversity: IgG lambda, IgG kappa, IgM kappa, IgM lambda, IgD kappa, IgD lambda, IgA kappa, IgA lambda. That means that we are getting more specific. Normally, हम कहते हैं IgG, IgM, IgA, but we are more specific, mentioning their light chain as well. Okay. So if one clone of plasma cell would be proliferating and it is producing one type of antibody, इसका मतलब है एक plasma cell जो है ना वो एक ही तरह की antibody produce करेगा. That is, अगर if it is designed to produce IgM kappa, क्योंकि VDJ recombination has taken place, somatic hypermutation has taken place, class switching has taken place. ठीक है, germinal center में सारा काम हो चुका है. So now this plasma cell has a potential to produce, like, for example, if it is specific or it is designed to produce IgG kappa, it will keep on producing IgG kappa. Okay, and if this plasma cell acquires neoplastic potential due to the involvement of IgH locus translocations that involve immunoglobulin heavy chain locus, so what happened? All the neoplastic cells will be producing IgG kappa. Is it clear? This is what we call monoclonal proliferation. Normally, the neoplastic proliferations are monoclonal. One type of cell is produced because a particular clone has acquired a neoplastic potential. बाकी polyclonal जो होता है ना, polyclonal, that is not neoplastic. Normally भी अगर infection होगा, for example, bacterial infection है, antibody produce करनी है, तो वो कैसी होगी? Polyclonal होगी. कोई IgG kappa होगी, कोई IgG lambda होगी, ठीक है ना? But in neoplasia, you will get a monoclonal proliferation, all IgG kappa of similar types. Is it clear? Okay. Now diagnosis. जी बेटा, क्वेश्चन कर लें अपना. Why is it called multiple myeloma? It is also called plasma cell myeloma. It is also called plasma cell myeloma. This is a category of plasma cell dysplasias, and this is a name. Plasma cell myeloma or multiple myeloma can be used interchangeably. Okay. Increased proliferation of, why the word multiple? Oh my God. Maybe because it is involving multiple organs. That you can see here the clinical manifestations, which is anemia, hypercalcemia, bone fractures, renal failure. Okay. It is involving the multiple organs. Maybe. Increased proliferation of plasma cells in the bone marrow. Okay, M protein, increased proliferation of plasma cells in the bone marrow. अच्छा, ये बोन मैरो में प्लाज्मा सेल्स की प्रोलिफरेशन बढ़ रही है, ये तो जर्मिनल सेंटर से बाहर निकल गए थे ना. Who will answer this question? Sidratul Muntaha, you answer this question. Muis, because of metastasis. No, भाई मेटास्टेसिस तो वो वही होगा ना जहां वो रह रहे हैं, तो ये तो जर्मिनल सेंटर से बाहर थे. Okay, let's make the question more simple. Why don't, if the cells are leaving the germinal center, and it was shown in picture, they were leaving the germinal center, they were coming in the blood. So why don't we observe plasma cells in the blood? No answer. Plasma cells होते कहाँ हैं? रहते कहाँ हैं? ब्लड में रहते हैं. WBC का जब डिफरेंशियल देखते हैं उसमें नजर आते हैं प्लाज्मा सेल्स. कनेक्टिव टिश्यू में रहते हैं. अच्छा, और कहाँ रहते हैं? ये मुझे याद है, मैंने क्लास में बताया था फर्स्ट ईयर में. ये तो इम्यूनिटी में पता ही होना चाहिए. कभी नहीं सोचा एंटीबॉडी ब्लड में है तो प्लाज्मा सेल ब्लड में क्यों नहीं है. WBC के डिफरेंशियल में ब्लड में हमें न्यूट्रोफिल्स नजर आते हैं, लिम्फोसाइट्स आते हैं, ईजनोफिल का काउंट दिया होता है. पता नहीं अब तक थर्ड ईयर में तो की तो ब्लड रिपोर्ट देख ली होगी, है ना. हाँ, याद आ रहा है. देयर इज अ रीजन. बोन मैरो, lymphoid organs. Lymphoid organs. But they go back to the bone marrow because their home is the bone marrow. Their second home is the bone marrow. They, after acquiring this all specificity, and yes, अब याद आया. After acquiring all these specificity of producing antibody and antigenic differentiation and whatever, they go back to the bone marrow. They reside in the bone marrow, not in the peripheral blood. Okay, so that's why when they start proliferating, तो वो फिर lymph node वगैरह में proliferate नहीं कर रहे हैं, they start proliferating in the bone marrow. अब वहां से they can come into the blood, and the stage is called plasma cell leukemia. Okay, but if they are confined to the bone marrow, this is multiple myeloma, and their proliferation starts in the bone marrow. And diagnosis on the basis of the count of plasma cells in the bone marrow, because the plasma cells, normally the count of plasma cells in the bone marrow is 1 or 2%. Okay, less than 2%. If their proliferation, their resonance, yes, बाबुल का घर. M protein, 60% IgG, 20% IgA, light chain only. Okay. M protein is the name given to those abnormal proteins, those abnormal antibodies that are released from these neoplastic clones of the plasma cell. This abnormal protein is not given a name. Normal immunoglobulin is gamma globulin, na? So M protein is the name given to that abnormal proteins, abnormal antibodies, M protein. Clinical manifestation इसकी क्या होंगी? Anemia, because plasma cells are proliferating in the bone marrow. One of the reason of that anemia is the suppression of bone marrow by the suppression of erythroid precursors by the neoplastic proliferation of the plasma cells. Then we have hypercalcemia, bone fractures because of the plasma cells. They are proliferating in the bone marrow, so it would lead to the bone fractures. Then we have renal failure and hypercalcemia. Acha, these two diagnostic features, why renal failure and why hypercalcemia? One region of hypercalcemia is very evident, and that is bone pathologies, okay, that are taking place because of the Yes, excellent. Because the malformed antibodies are nephrotoxic. These antibodies, these and proteins will, these are nephrotoxic. They are causing problem in the kidneys. They're getting accumulated there. That's why they are leading to the renal failure. Lab may you will order a CBC. You will have a normocytic normochromic anemia. ESR will be raised because of these proteins. UCE, X-ray, and serum calcium. Extrahepatic bone lesions will be there. Clinical features में anemia, bone pain, recurrent infections. Why? Because the antibodies are produced, but these are abnormal antibodies. So the suppression of the normal antibodies are Benz-Jones proteins present in multiple myeloma. Benz-Jones proteins basically light chain proteins होते हैं. If the plasma cell clone which is proliferating, it is only producing light chain abnormality, like only light chains are filtering through the kidneys, or if the light chains are circulating in the blood, then these are Benz-Jones proteins that can occur in multiple myeloma, some types of multiple myeloma. Okay, renal failure. Now this is how the plasma cells look like in the bone marrow. They have a very classical morphology. They have abundant cytoplasm. My God, neoplastic plasma cells activate the rank receptor on the osteoclast. Itni pathology. Yes, they activate the rank receptors on the osteoclast, because of which these osteoclastic proliferation starts increasing and osteoblasts, they get decreased. This is a typical reason, pathological reason for these bone fracture also. Okay, but the most common is that because this is exerting pressure on the bone, because the proliferation is increasing in the bone marrow, but this rank receptor is more specific pathology. But I intentionally didn't discuss this because it's not very important for you people. There are two nuclei because of cell division. No, I am concentrating on the normal plasma cell morphology, and the normal plasma cell looks like this. Okay, abundant cytoplasm, eccentric nucleus, and a paranuclear halo. अच्छा भाई, क्लास टाइम जो है वो खत्म हो रहा है, तो we'll quickly go through it. This is the Mott cell. This is the variation of the plasma cell, and so many vacuoles are there. This is the binucleated plasma cell because of increased mitosis, or because when abnormal proliferations take place, the morphology gets disturbed because of the increased proliferation rate of the cell. Okay, this is important. This is the monoclonal protein peak in the gamma region. Normally, albumin is high, globulin is less, but here you will get a monoclonal protein peak in the gamma globulin region, which is indicating that some abnormal proteins are produced. This is M protein peak. Normal serum protein electrophoresis would look like this, a dense in the area in the albumin region, and in the gamma region you will get a diffuse area that so many types of gamma globulins are produced. Again, you can see here, and this is a diffuse area of kappa and diffuse staining of lambda. Kappa is stronger than lambda because normally the ratio between the kappa and lambda is 2:1. While see the multiple myeloma patient, the serum protein electrophoresis, here you can concentrate on this gamma region. Normally it is a diffuse band, but here in the patient serum, you will get a dense band, dense concentrated band. And when you will try to identify what this band or what this concentration is for, this is G, IgG. The heavy chain is G, and the light chain here is gamma. Kappa. So you can see the M protein here is, which M protein here is? IgG kappa. IgG kappa. Lytic bone lesions. Okay. MGUS monoclonal gammopathy of unknown significance, because this kind of serum protein electrophoresis, although not this type of monoclonal protein peak can be seen in some asymptomatic patients as well, and they later progress to multiple myeloma at a rate of 1% per year. Then there is a smoldering myeloma, disseminated disease that pursues an unusually indolent course, remains silent for years, and this is extramedullary plasmacytoma, in which the plasma cell mass proliferate at some location other than bone marrow. Okay, this is the list for the precursor T cell neoplasm. Take a picture of this. You don't need to remember all these names, but similarly, as we have precursor B cell neoplasm, there is a classification of peripheral T cell neoplasm. The reason why we were concentrated more on the B cell neoplasm because 85% of NHLs are of B cell lineage. Now, 10 minutes for Hodgkin lymphoma. Okay, just 10 minutes. Okay. Okay. ये वीडियो का लिंक है. If you want to see, I am sending it to you in your chat. You can copy the link from here. मेरी चैट नहीं ओपन हो रही साथी. Okay, now start with the Hodgkin lymphoma is a type of lymphoma characterized by the presence of RS cells, Reed Sternberg cell. It's of lymphoid lineage derived from B lymphocyte. Previously, I have shown you in the picture that they derive from the germinal center B lymphocyte, and this is associated with EBV infection in 50% of cases. The mechanism is the germinal center B cell they had to go the antigenic exposure. For example, if transforming event occur here, they get exposed to EBV, they are converted to the RS cells. This RS cell has a very classical morphology. They have abundant cytoplasm. They are binucleated, or we can say two nuclear lobes, and a prominent eosinophilic nucleoli in each lobe. And this big cell, this cell with two nuclear lobe and two prominent eosinophilic nucleoli, this cell is called RS cell, which is diagnostic for classical Hodgkin lymphoma. What happened because this RS cell, it releases cytokines and it gets a loss of apoptosis. So these RS cells will start proliferating and releasing cytokines. These cytokines, they will attract the inflammatory cells, and inflammatory response will take place in response to as a result of the cytokines produced by the RS cells. So you have so many inflammatory cells migrating towards this area. And that's why you get in Hodgkin's disease, you will have in Hodgkin's lymphoma, you will have an inflammatory background, and in this inflammatory background, there are prominent RS cells. Okay, these are the Reed Sternberg cells, and that inflammatory background will contain plasma cell, lymphocyte, eosinophils, histiocytes. Okay, clinical features can present at any age, but is rare in children, has a peak incidence in young adults. Male predominance is 2:1 ratio, painless, non-tender, asymmetrical, firm, discrete, and doubly enlargement of superficial lymph node. Basically, the patient would present with lymphadenopathy, which is painless, non-tender, and asymmetrical. 80 to 70% cases में cervical lymphadenopathy, then axillary area get involved in 10 to 15% cases. Okay. 50% patients can present with splenomegaly, and then they have constitutional symptoms like fever, pruritus, weight loss, and profuse sweating. Hematological and biochemical finding that you see in the Hodgkin lymphoma is normocytic normochromic anemia. Then we have frequent neutrophilia and eosinophilia because of the cytokines that are produced by the RS cells. Just what are these cells? Sakit, are you there? Sakit? The chat box open now. Okay, frequent neutrophilia, eosinophilia, ESR, and C-reactive protein are raised, LDH raised. This is the RS cell. That's how it looks like in the lymph node. and these are the prominent eosinophilic nuclei. Okay, again, this is the RS cell. This is the abundant cytoplasm, 2 nuclear lobes, and a prominent eosinophilic nuclei. Hodgkin lymphoma classical is usually CD15 and 30 positive, and that's how the positivity looks like. And you have to see the positivity in the, not in these cells, but in the RS cells. These are the RS cells that are getting stained positive with the CD15 and 30. WHO classification of Hodgkin lymphoma, we divide into the nodular lymphocyte predominant Hodgkin lymphoma and classical Hodgkin lymphoma. Classical Hodgkin lymphoma is further divided into the nodular sclerosis lymphocyte rich. Hello Sakit, मेरा chat box open नहीं हो रहा. मेरा तो ओपन ही नहीं हो रहा ना, मैं खोल ही नहीं रहा. हाँ, ऊपर जो दिया हुआ है ना जिससे हमेशा खोल रही हूँ, उसको जब मैं चैट को क्लिक कर रही हूँ तो मुझे शो नहीं हो रही. हाँ, किसको मिनिमाइज करेंगे? एक मिनट, किसको करूँ? हाँ, चैट बैकग्राउंड में करेंगे, इसको बंद करूँ, पहले इसको बंद करूँ. ठीक है, अब मैं कहाँ से जाऊँ? ठीक है, अब मीटिंग का बाहर नहीं आ रहा, मीटिंग का बाहर नहीं आ रहा. अब आ रही है आपको? स्क्रीन नजर आ रही है मेरी? ठीक है, अपनी चैट बैकग्राउंड में चली गई थी, मुझे इसके आगे ही नजर आ रही थी, तो बड़ा मुश्किल हो रहा है. Okay, mixed cellularity Hodgkin's lymphoma and lymphocyte depletion Hodgkin lymphoma. Staging again same method है. Laboratory full blood counts कराएंगे, ESR, C reactive protein, bone marrow aspirate and T5 biopsy to see the stage. At stage 4, it would be in bone marrow. It would be visible in bone marrow. Otherwise, ये lymph node biopsy पर diagnose होगा. LFT and LDH, radiology, chest radiograph and CT of thorax, abdomen, pelvis, MRI, PET scan, just to see the extent of the lymphadenopathy. Or staging के लिए this workup is needed. Why? Because staging method is same as for non-Hodgkin lymphoma. Like one area of the lymph node is involved is stage 1, 2 on the same side of diaphragm 2, both sides of the diaphragm is involved stage 3, and distant metastasis is stage 4. Treatment is radiotherapy and chemotherapy. The patient is stage 1 and 2A. They are given radiotherapy in the treatment of bulky tumor masses such as mediastinal tumor that remains after chemotherapy, painful skeletal nodules. Basically, treatment is not very important in pathology, but for stage 1 and 2, we give only radiotherapy, and stage 3 and 4, we have to give cyclical chemotherapy, which is ABVD. But the prognosis, good thing is that 5-year survival rate is 50 to 90%. So Hodgkin lymphoma is very simple. The important thing is to remember the classification of the Hodgkin lymphoma, that it is divided into the nodular lymphocyte predominant Hodgkin lymphoma and classical Hodgkin lymphoma. Then classical is further divided into the nodular sclerosis, lymphocyte rich, and the details are given in your booklet. Nodular sclerosis, for example, it is very common in female, and cervical lymphadenopathy is more common than mixed cellularity Hodgkin lymphoma and lymphocyte depleted Hodgkin lymphoma. The thing that identify or to discriminate between the Hodgkin and the non-Hodgkin lymphoma is the RS cell. Okay. This classical RS cell is present in the classical Hodgkin lymphoma. Otherwise, RS cell has many variants as well, like Kuhner cells have, popcorn cells have, for example, in which only one lobe of nucleus is visible. Okay, so these are the variant of the RS cells that are seen in different subtypes of the Hodgkin lymphoma. But staging and the classification is the main thing. I want to ask one thing: what are these cells which have pink staining? Yes, sorry. The chat box to mujhe nahi aa raha hai. Okay, so I am skipping this screen because I cannot see the chat box with this open slides, and I'll be sending you the link in the chat. Yes, these are eosinophils. Kindly copy this link and watch this video. If you have any question, because the class time is over, you can ask quickly, or the student who was asking about, I don't remember the name. Madam, is that owl eye appear as twice? Yes, this is owl's eye appearance. RS cells look like owl's eye. Any other question? You can mail me also. I am sending you my mailing address. Madam, will you teach MDS, myelodysplastic syndrome, or myeloproliferative neoplasms? Dr. Noor will tell. Dr. Noor will teach you the myeloproliferative neoplasms. SLVL is splenic lymphoma with villous lymphocytes. See? You can ask your questions here. You can mail me your questions and I'll try to reply you. What is SLVL splenic lymphoma with villous lymphocytes? Because the lymphocytes have villous projections. Two projections दिखाई थी ना? So that's why it is called as splenic lymphoma, and the point of start is splenic area usually. That's why it is called as splenic lymphoma with villous lymphocytes. And why these villous lymphocytes? We didn't receive your email, ma'am. बेटा भेज दी ना. दोबारा भेज देती हूँ. ये देखें, मुइज ने दोबारा भेजी है. Okay, I am again sending you. अच्छा, ये जा रही है. एवरीवन इन द वेटिंग रूम. अब मिली? एनी अदर क्वेश्चन? चले मैं हट रही. किसकी क्या है? ओह माय गॉड. चले. ओके बेटा, you have your next class, I think, so I am leaving the meeting. Thank you very much.